If you're looking for the ultimate sandwich, look no further than this French Croque Monsieur. It is a stack sandwich with homemade bechamel, Comté cheese, country ham, and an artisan bread all toasted together, and oh my gosh, is it delicious. The Croque Monsieur is really just a fancy French term for grilled cheese with ham. Honestly, that's just about it. But it is super good. It dates back to the early 20th century in Paris at the cafes. It's known as the gentleman's sandwich. Maybe you've also heard of a croque madame, which is the same thing with an egg on top, but we are going to stick to the classic. The first thing we are going to do, though, is knock out a bechamel sauce. It's super easy, one of the 5 mother sauces. Follow along, let's cook.
We're going to start off by slicing a yellow onion in half. Make sure that knife is super sharp, and for some dang reason, this onion gave me a ton of trouble because that outer peel was really thick. Anyways, slice it in half. Go ahead and peel off the outer layer. You can even go in one more because this onion is so big. And then using a paring knife, or I'm going to use my chef knife here, I want to cut about a 1-inch slit in the top. I know that's going to seem weird, but really what I'm trying to do is easily fit in a bay leaf so that it stays still. This is a little trick I learned way back in the day in culinary school. This is absolutely perfect. We're actually going to do something very similar with a clove. The clove, bay leaf, and onion are going to add some incredible flavors to the bechamel sauce. Just going to pop it on a plate. We're going over to our cooktop where I've got a medium-sized sauce pot. Going to add in some unsalted butter. Immediately going to turn the heat up to medium. What I want to do is melt it because I'm going to make a roux. This is going to help thicken up our bechamel sauce. So once the butter is just melted, I'm going to add in my all-purpose flour. Be sure it is all-purpose. It cannot be bread or anything else. Use a whisk to completely combine it. We want this to be a white roux, not even a blonde roux. So we're only going to cook it for maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes. Make sure that it is nice and smooth. We don't want the bechamel to be gritty. At this point, pour in your whole milk. And you absolutely can use 2%, but I feel like whole milk just adds that much more flavor. If you use 2%, don't tell anybody. Now turn the heat up to high because we want to bring this to a bit of a low boil. That is when it will completely thicken up. Honestly, as soon as it gets there, before you know it, it will turn fast. It will be completely thick. And a good way to know when it's done is when it's nappe. And that means it will coat the back of a spoon. So let's go ahead and check it out. Once you have coated it, lift it up, run your finger through the center. You see how the top part of the bechamel doesn't run into where you ran across? That is perfect consistency, also known as nappe. We're going to add in that onion with bay leaf clove, turn the heat down to low, and then we're going to simmer it for 15 to 20 minutes, get all those good flavors in there.
Let me stop and say this. Yes, you are going to have a lot of leftover bechamel, but it holds really well in the refrigerator up to 5 days. All you do is add your desired amount to a sauce pot, hit it with maybe a few tablespoons of milk just to thin it out a little bit, and boom, you've got it. But I've got a ton of recipes where I used it. My chicken nachos, my buttermilk biscuits with country gravy, my loaded chicken nachos, or my lasagna bolognese. You can use it in all of those, or you can use it in something else. It's literally the most insane sauce. If you just put cheese in it, boom, you've got a delicious cheese sauce. Okay, this is great time though that we can knock out a little bit more prep with our cheese.
I've got a nice big block of Comté cheese. That would be classic in this recipe. You could use something like Gruyere, also has tons of great salty flavors. If you don't have anything like that, you can grab a block of Swiss cheese. Heck, you could even use Parmesan cheese. That would be fine as well. Once you've shredded it up, let's go back over, check out our bechamel. It's been about 15 minutes or so. Yes, I waited a little longer after I grated my cheese. Let's remove the onion. Now I'm going to go back over to where my cutting board is, and I'm going to grate in a little bit of fresh nutmeg. If you just got ground nutmeg, that's totally fine too. And now I'm going to season it up with sea salt. I've got some ground white pepper. We want the sauce to be really nice and white. And go ahead and just mix everything in until it's completely combined. And at this point, you could absolutely use it as is. But because of my culinary training, I can't help myself. I want to strain it through a chinois, or if you have a fine mesh strainer or even some cheesecloth, that would be great. Go ahead and pour it through there, then using a spoon or ladle or even a spatula, I like to move everything around just to make sure I can get all of that delicious bechamel through that strainer. This looks absolutely fantastic. What I'm going to simply do here is set it to the side because I've got a big old loaf of bread. Now I have plenty of recipes that you can make and use, but if you want to grab some from the store, be sure to get a nice country artisan loaf like this. It's just going to taste so much better in this Croque Monsieur, and I promise you will not regret it. Now go ahead and add it to a plate. Maybe I ate the ends if you can't tell, and head over to the cooktop.
All of the prep is completely finished. Now pay attention because this is going to move super fast.
Now go over to your cooktop. I've got a very large cast iron skillet over low heat. I'm going to add in some unsalted butter. I just want to melt this because essentially what we're going to do here is make a grilled cheese. So add in 2 large slices of that sliced bread, and we're going to cook it for, gosh, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. We just want to get a nice brown toast on here. Let's give it a flip. Yep, this is perfect. This is the exact consistency that you will want. Now it's time to load up this sandwich. On only one side of the toasted bread, I'm going to add on some Dijon mustard. Be sure to spread it all over and use a decent amount. It's going to add a nice little bite to the sandwich. It's going to make it that much more delicious. Now stack this thing high with some country ham. Maybe you've got only Black Forest or any other ham will actually work. Oop, if it fell down, just lift it back up. I like this thing to be really thick. I've seen some other Croque Monsieurs online. They are thin as can be. I like a big old fat sandwich. That's just me. Now top off the ham with some of that bechamel sauce and add some nice fat and some nice flavor here. And then once you've spread it over the top, I'm next going to hit it with some shredded Comté cheese. This looks fantastic. Try not to eat the cheese too. It's really hard because it's absolutely amazing. Now flip over the other slice of toasted bread, add it right to the top, maybe give it a little smash. Now here's what we're going to do to the top of this. We are going to generously add on some more spoonfuls of the bechamel sauce and spread it around, completely covering the top of that bread. This looks excellent. We're going to hit it with a bit more of that Comté cheese. We want this thing to be melty and absolutely incredible. We're going over to the oven on the broil setting on high. We want this to cook for maybe 3 to 4 minutes, so do not go far because it's going to come together really quickly. Let's take a look. This is perfect. You could even go a little browner if you'd like. I just get a little scared leaving it under the broiler. Remove it from the oven. Let's take it over to our cutting board. Take it out of the pan so it doesn't overcook. And goodness, does that look amazing.
And it's like I say in every single video every week. Comies, once you start understanding these fundamental techniques like making a bechamel, you just made one of the 5 classic mother sauces. You start applying this knowledge, these techniques to all of your everyday cooking, you're going to be such a well-rounded chef, home cook, and like I always say, homemade food from scratch tastes way better than the restaurants, way better than the grocery store. You name it, it's going to be so much more delicious. Now, of course, let's plate this up in slow-mo.
Go ahead and give your sandwich a slice. I like to use serrated knives on things like this so it doesn't smash the sandwich. So simply saw it a little bit back and forth, but be delicate. And, you know, I have calluses on my fingers so I can stand the hot sandwich. But in case you don't, use some tongs or something else to help keep it in place. And that is what I'm talking about, my friends. Layers and layers of ham. This is what a Croque Monsieur should look like. Absolutely stacked with goodness in the inside. I'm just simply going to plate this up on a cutting board because, well, you know me, I'm extra. You could use a plate, totally up to you. And a nice little touch at the end, totally optional, is sprinkle on some finely chopped parsley. Just looks really nice and adds some much needed color to this brown sandwich. And when in Rome, add a little champagne to the side on a fluted glass because dang, does it go well with a Croque Monsieur. And wow, check out this beauty.
Seriously, you guys, this sandwich is so good. It's so easy to make. After the bechamel's done, you need maybe 10 minutes to make it. It'll be the best grilled cheese you've ever had. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and definitely check out this video because it is seriously, it's so good. I'll see you on there.